And good morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. Happy Monday to you and for all of you mothers. I hope you had a fabulous one yesterday. I mean, weather-wise, you could not have asked for a better day. Whatever you did with mom, again, I hope she felt all the love from each and every one of her kids. We had a great time with mine. We were barbecuing, sitting out on her deck and looking out at the lake. It was just absolutely beautiful. So we got a little bit of a change in weather today. In fact, I think you're going to need your umbrella, and then it's going to feel oppressively hot to you, I think, later in the week. We'll talk with Beckett about that. Little news you can use coming up. We'll get you ready for some sports news, what is going on for today. And then we'll take our break. And when we come back, we're going to talk with a guest we've had on before, Rich Melching. You know him. He's a regular viewer of the show. He is with Dude's Playground, and we're going to talk about what they provide at Dude's Playground, but more importantly, how can we help as a community? In fact, there's an event coming up that we're involved in June that we want you to be a part of. It's a poker run. And all vehicles are welcome to this. I know a lot of people have probably done poker runs in the past, and it's been those motorcycles. Nope, it's every car, and then the whole community coming out. If you can't be involved in the poker run, an opportunity for you to come a little bit later. But the things that they do there, that's really what they provide, that respite for our disabled veterans or anyone that's struggling with mental health. And we'll talk all about that today. Rich Melching and Trish Odom, who is a board member with Dude's Playground and part of Haven House. We'll talk about all of that coming up for you in this hour. And by the way, make sure that you comment any questions you have, anything you want to say as a community, be there for each other. I love looking at all of our comments coming in from any of the platforms, which by the way are Facebook, YouTube, we have X, Instagram, Rumble, and LinkedIn. And don't forget about our Thursday mornings. We have our audio podcast that drops at 8 o'clock in the morning. All right, with no further ado, let's get to a segment that we call What the Weather.
Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri, and it is a beautiful one.
And let's say good morning to our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. So how was brunch yesterday?
It was really good. So we took her out to lunch, actually, and then we went to the Laumeier Art Fair after that, so she really liked it.
I said on the news this morning that they had that taking place. Have you ever been to that before?
No, I haven't, but it was packed. There were so many people there.
Yeah, there's a lot of vendors. It's a really cool thing. They've got music in the past. I've gone many, many years ago. But yeah, I mean, yesterday was such a beautiful day. I think a lot of people were outside. So we were talking about how gorgeous it was. We actually opened the pool this week, and I think more and more people are doing that a little bit early before the public pools usually open on Memorial Weekend, but a lot of you might be doing that already. In fact, they might want to later this week, don't they, Beckett?
Yeah, they're going to want to get in the pool later this week for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. In fact, I heard some of the channels saying that we might even get close to a record. I think it's Thursday. 94, I think, was the record back in 1944. And now we are kind of teetering with that a little bit. I'm not going to do the weather for you. We're going to let Beckett do that. Again, our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore. Be sure to follow him on X and on YouTube. Beckett, take it away.
Yeah, so looking at the current conditions right now in St. Louis, we got a temperature around 65 degrees, cloudy skies, but we will see some raindrops start mixing in here in the next couple of hours. Dew point at 53 and sunset tonight at 8:03 p.m. Now the bus stop forecast 65 overcast this morning. Then as we head into the afternoon, 74 degrees, warming up to the mid-70s, but rainy conditions as we have scattered showers and thunder showers across the area. And then lastly, our 7-day outlook, again, that 60% chance of rain pretty much all of today, but really getting going as we head into the next couple of hours towards noontime, low of 62 tonight. Tomorrow, Tuesday, 80 degrees. We will have cloudy skies, maybe a couple lingering showers in the morning, but that gets out of here as we head into the afternoon. And by the afternoon and evening, we should have sunny skies throughout the area. And then we start a very nice 4-day stretch of warm and sunny weather, but it's going to get hot by Thursday, 92 degrees. Like Monica mentions, that is near record, with the record being 94. So we'll see if we get up there and break that. On Friday, it's going to be sunny for most of the day, but then some thunderstorms will be possible as we head later into Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well, and another rain chance into Sunday.
Beckett, are you counting down the days till summer for you?
Yes, I am, yeah.
All the kids are. Some graduations already happening. In fact, we'll talk about that in the news with WashU in just a second. But how many days left for you?
I have this week I think I have 9 days. Yeah.
9 days left and he becomes a big sophomore, folks. All right, Becca, well, thank you again, as always, for what you do for us, and we'll talk to you again on Friday.
Absolutely. See you then.
All right, everyone. Again, isn't he great? Beckett Moore. If it's the first time for you to see him, check him out. He is the most accurate aspiring meteorologist that we have in our area. And we're so proud to have him along with us. So this is breaking news from overnight. U.S. and China, they will be announcing today an agreement. You know, a lot of you have been talking about when you are purchasing different aspects. But again, this is the whole thing about President Trump wanting you to buy American and made in the USA. So U.S. and China taking a step back from the sky-high tariffs and agreeing to pause for 90 days. Again, you'll hear more about this in the news today. Stock markets rose sharply as the globe's two major economic powers took a step back from that clash that has unsettled the global economy. U.S. trade representatives say the U.S. agreed to drop its 145% tariff rate on Chinese goods by 115% points to 30%. China agreed to lower its rate on U.S. goods by the same amount to 10%. Again, the tariff reductions were announced at a news conference in Geneva. Now, just as we say that, as you go to the pump, you might have a little sticker shock. It's starting in California, but we always see it there, and then it comes into our area. But this is when it happens. We go into summer season, and you start to see, as you go into your travel time, unfortunately, that the price at the pump goes up. In fact, gas prices in California could hit nearly $8 a gallon. Ouch. That's all I'm going to say. Continuing to rise around the country. One store owner said it was just a week before when prices were below $4. And he said that they just keep pushing the price up, up, up. Again, I know a lot of consumers getting frustrated by this news, but we see it every year. And this does seem a little bit higher than what we're used to. But again, expect the price at the pump in our area to go up as well. All right. Are any of you going on a cruise, going to Mexico possibly, or you're making your travel plans right now and you're thinking, well, maybe I'll make a trip to Mexico? Well, listen to this. Again, if you are taking a cruise, you now have to pay extra fees. Mexico will be implementing a new cruise passenger fee starting July 1st at $5. That's down from the previously proposed $42 fee. The Florida Caribbean Cruise Association said the fee was lowered following industry pushback, saying such high fees would deter visitors from cruising to Mexico. But if you're going, be prepared to pay this extra fee from now on. Although Mexico agreed to lower the fee to $5 per person, it's still expected to gradually increase over the next few years. So in 2026, it goes up to $10, 2027, $15, and finally in 2028, it will be $21. More than 10 million cruise passengers, by the way, are expected to visit Mexico in 2025. Or you just heard me say a lot of kids are graduating, and today Washington University having their graduation. And who's going to do the commencement? This girl right here. That's right. Simone Biles is the speaker. Now, there is rain in the forecast, so it'll be interesting if it starts to rain right as they get that underway. I remember when I was doing traffic and TV, it was always about the big setup and then all of the traffic going into Wash U. So expect that today. The university again announced that back in March, she will receive an honorary doctorate of humane letters. I also heard that singer Jennifer Lewis will get an honorary degree as well. All right. Well, if you know someone that's having a baby and they're thinking about baby names, here are some of the top names for you this year. In fact, I saw this one carrying over from 2023. Liam and Olivia dominating again. My great niece is Olivia, my dear friend whose baby just turned a year, Olivia. So Olivia, one of the top baby names for the 6th year in a row. Those two names for the 6th year together. The list. The Social Security Administration annually tracks the names given to girls and boys in each state, names dating back to 1880. And of course, just in time for Mother's Day, the agency released the most popular names on Friday from the applications for the Social Security cards. Liam, by the way, has reigned for 8 years in a row for boys. Olivia topped the girls' list for 6. Also for the 6th consecutive year, Emma took the 2nd slot for girls and Noah for boys. The girls' name Luna slipped out of the top 10 and was replaced by Sophia, enters at number 10 for the first time. So if you want them, after Liam, the most common names for boys are in order: Noah, Oliver, Theodore, James, Henry, Mateo, Elijah, Lucas, and William. And then for girls, after Olivia, the most common names are Emma, Amelia, Charlotte, Mia, Sophia, Isabella, Evelyn, Ava, and Sophia. They have a Sophia, but it's spelled different. So it's Sophia, right before Isabella, and then at the end it's Sofia. So Sophia actually making the list twice. Okay, this is a little scratching my head story one. So McDonald's, not in our area, but listen to this and I'll tell you where this one took place. McDonald's location in Franconia, Virginia is banning anyone under the age of 21 to come in and dine in the restaurant. And why is this? Due to student violence. There's a sign posted at the entrance of the fast food chain's location in Fairfax County that says a policy was implemented, quote, due to repeated incidents of student violence. So adults are asked to ring the doorbell to be let in. Drive-through and mobile ordering options, of course, remain available to all ages. But that McDonald's site, they are, again, near multiple campuses, popular lunchtime and after-school hangout. It's unclear how long this policy will remain in effect, but they got to do what they have to do because, again, of the student violence. They can still, as I said, go through the drive-through, but no longer can they dine in the restaurant if they're under the age of 21. All right, how about the Battlehawks? We're going to run through the Battlehawks, the Cards, as well as St. Louis City SC, and then talk about what's on tap today. The Battlehawks are now 5-2, 7 games into the season, and with a 19-9 win, they played the Memphis Showboats. Again, they are improving their winning streak to 3, their record to 5-2, sealing that win. Way to go, Battlehawks, or we have to do have you been to a game, by the way? Because that's what you have to do. Cardinals, how about that? They keep coming up in the ranks, even though I hated at the beginning of the season. They called it a reset season, which again ticked off so many Cardinals fans, and they showed it in the stands, by the way. Well, now look at the Cardinals. 6-1 beating the Washington Nationals. It's the Cards and the Phillies today at 5:45, and tomorrow, same time. The Cards, of course, are on the road. And then St. Louis City SC, they were playing over the weekend. They actually have a game coming up on Wednesday. That will be at 7:45 against Sporting KC, but they dropped San Diego FC on Saturday, unfortunately. All right, here's what's on tap for your National Day of calendar. We've got a few things on tap for you, and we're starting off with National Sapphire Day, National Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. I'm not sure if you know what that is. I've had a lot of clients that I personal train that have that, and it just attacks the immune system and the muscles, and they just feel like this crazy soreness and exhaustion day in and day out. National Women's Checkup Day. All right, ladies, take care of yourself. National Nutty Fudge Day. It's also National Odometer Day and National Limerick Day. There you go. And that's how we do it. In the first 15 minutes of the show, we get you all up to date. See how quickly we do that? Weather, news you can use, some sports news, and like that, it's over. And then we get into our topic of the day. So we're going to take our break. And when we come back, I want you to welcome Rich Melching. You've seen him commenting probably, but have you ever seen him on our show? If you missed it about a year or so ago, he is here to talk about Dude's Playground, why he started in the first place, what it has been able to offer to our community, and how our community can step up. He also has brought in a board member. Trish Odom is in studio with us as well. So the two will be our guests when we return.
Carroll House Furniture Homes look the best because of our free design service. Our designers please your taste.
Let's reimagine your room with 50 brand name choices.
We'll create a 3D design with a 360 view for your room.
Free design services are just the beginning. Free 0% financing, fast free delivery and setup, and the guaranteed lowest prices in the country with no stipulations.
You'll get a perfect custom floor plan for your new dream room.
Carroll House Design, because you like nice things.
And welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. Okay, I don't know if I got a dog in the studio. It's the dude himself. He was like, hang on, I want to introduce myself, Monica. Yes, we have his owner in studio with us, Rich Melching. So good to see you. And along with Rich, his board member, Trish Odom. There's the dude.
Always.
Did you have to get him up early this morning?
Oh, he was sitting by the window waiting.
Oh, yeah?
And he doesn't usually get out in the morning while it's still dark. So, yeah, he went hunting in the woods until I got ready to leave.
So it's funny, we have one of our coworkers, Corey, he came in today and he's like, there's a wolf in the parking lot. And I was like, well, you're actually not wrong. Are you going to come over here? Okay, hold on.
Just a minute, boy.
Here's the thing. In movies, they always say it's fun to be on set with an animal or a child because you never know what's going to happen. You just let them do their thing. He wants to sit by Aunt Monica. So yes, what kind of dog is he?
His great granddaddy was a northern white wolf,
Yeah.
and then he's been bred with German shepherds ever since. So
He's so beautiful.
he's definitely got a different color on him than most dogs, don't he?
Yeah, he's gorgeous. How old is he now?
He turned 9 in March. We don't know his exact birthday. We called it March 1st. We almost called it February 29th, but
Yeah, right?
he would only be 2.
Well, he looks really, really young. His coat is gorgeous. What do you feed him?
Anything he wants, but he gets a can of wet food in the morning, and then he eats a cup or two of dry dog food. But the dude will eat anything that I'm eating. He gets the last bite. That's just the way it is. He gets the last bite.
Does he get a lot of exercise? He's so svelte.
Yeah, he hunts a lot.
Yeah.
I totally get where they got the werewolf thing from,
Yeah.
because at night he don't want to be like this. He wants to be looking outside, or he wants to be outside. He's hunting. He don't want to love.
Dad. Where did you get him?
We had down by Prairie du Rocher, Illinois. There was a couple that was having some hard times, and he was a puppy. And I actually didn't think he was a wolf when we got him, because he was only like, this big.
Right.
And so we took him over, and then found out a couple months ago where his bloodline came from. And
It's amazing.
He's been an amazing animal.
He is a sweetheart for sure.
Yeah.
We had him in studio about a year or so ago in our old set, and he was just an absolute sweetheart. He's like, Dad, what? Hey, I'm on. Look. So he's going to be on with us. Let's also introduce Trish. So Trish, you're a board member. He wants Dad to play with him. You're a board member with Dudes Playground, right?
Yes.
How long have you been involved?
About a year now.
Okay, fantastic. But you're also involved with Haven House.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about Haven House.
So Haven House, I own an organization that I took in homeless veterans, and I take them to all their doctor's appointments, outings, everything. Make sure that they're all well cared for, and they all live in my own private home that I bought.
Fantastic.
So, and then I help 116 other outside veterans in their homes.
Wow.
So,
How long has Haven House been around?
I've been around since 2018.
2018. Okay, doing wonderful work, and we're looking at some of the pictures of what they do. Also, if you're just tuning in, we've got Dude. Look at he's not going to listen to you. Oh, there we go. That's a good boy. So we've got Dude in studio along with Rich Melching again and Trish Odom. So Dude's Playground has been around. Is he blowing his
He's
coat?
blowing his coat bad.
We'll vacuum. It's okay. How long has Dude's Playground been around?
The idea came up in 2015, and then we actually became a 501c in 2017, I believe, or 18. And then we've been expanding ever since. Finally got a board together. I got to tell you, when Trish found out about us, and she brought about 12, 15 veterans over, and started telling me her story, I just jokingly looked at her. I'm like, do you want to be a board member of Dude's Playground? And she's like, sure. Because what she does, I mean, all the organizations that do what we do touch on things a little different, if you will.
Sure.
And what she does to take care of these people with mental health issues and suicide prevention and stuff like that. And she's so dedicated to the people that she helps. Actually, we're leaving here after here. We're going to John Cochran. You want to tell them about David?
I have a veteran that's in very critical need right now. So, and I don't leave any of my veterans alone at this time. So it's just really hard when you live with them and you get so attached to them.
Sure.
Oh,
how can you not?
They're like family. It's family.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are a family at Haven House.
Right. Again, and what we're talking today is a lot of things, and you'll see in the description about how mental health, unfortunately, is on a rise. And we talked last week or 2 weeks ago about how it also is on the rise with young children. We're seeing it more and more. I'm always looking for positives, though. The positive in that generation is that they're talking about it, that we're talking about mental health for the first time in maybe ever in the last several years, probably in the last 5 years since the pandemic, and everybody was isolated, and the kids weren't able to socialize and they had to learn at home, and then they're still trying to come out of that. But at least we're discussing mental health issues, anxiety disorders. We're talking about suicide prevention, and unfortunately hearing more suicides in our younger generation. So that is our future, right? We want to try to help the younger community so that we can maybe change these numbers and get them lower and lower. But from the mental health standpoint, and I know you've talked about it in the past, you had your own struggles, serious struggles.
Yeah, I I found myself basically on top of the world, and all of a sudden I couldn't make a living, and that's what brought the attention to me. And I've been trying to get the point across of how your life changes when you start to have mental health problems. I like to explain it like this: rock bottom when it comes to mental health, when it comes to um, abuse, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, or whatever. The rock bottom point is little circle right here, and this is the place to where it's hard to get through the night. You just want that sun to come up. It's a little easier to deal with it when the sun's up.
Yeah.
When you get in that spot, everyone wants to know how you got there, how your journey was there. We don't care how you got there. That is, I don't care if you came on a motorcycle or a plane, for example. When you're in that spot, we're all in the same spot. Our goal is to get you out of that spot.
Right.
And so many people for so many years, it's like, oh, what happened? Oh, you lost your arm. And oh, you saw your buddy die in your arms. Well, I joke and I'm like, I don't care if it's a hangnail. If it puts you in that spot,
Yeah.
we don't care because we're all the same.
Sure.
And that's what we're really trying to promote to people. My struggles that I had, I'm lucky to be here. I'm truly lucky that I made it through it. And when I made it through it and then bought this property and went down there on closing day and cried like a baby, and I'm like, I'm going to be okay. And my disability is chronic pain.
Mm-hmm.
And when your surroundings is something as beautiful as Dude's Playground, or being in a hospital room or a basement looking at a fluorescent light, how you deal with your disability, it really makes a difference. The thought of suicide doesn't come to my mind as often as it used to. I had a battle a couple months ago when I got depressed, and I'm lucky enough now that I know it when it's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Got a hold of my psychiatrist, let my wife know. She sees it. Becky is my biggest supporter by far. And I knew, even though everything I'd been through, I knew it was happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had to get out of it, but I still couldn't. I didn't want to.
But we can learn how to talk about it. We can learn how to bring it forth.
Right.
And whether you're just having a bad day or is this really a suicidal thought
Absolutely.
and tendency. And that's what we're teaching everybody. We're letting everybody know those kind of things to look for, the stigma of suicide.
Well, exactly. And the thing is, and I think Rich just nailed it, is leaning on those that love you, that want better for you. They don't understand the things that you're going through. They can't feel your pain. Or for those of you that were on the battlegrounds, whether we're talking, and that can be the battlegrounds however you want to look at it, truly in war, or think about our first responders stepping out the door every day and running into things that we all run away from, and then what they saw or what they see. And, you know, we always talk about first responders or military putting the uniform on. It's so habitual and it's what they know, but then all of a sudden you strip it off and you're no longer in that day to day, it's suddenly feeling like they lost their identity, right? So there's all those levels of, then the depression starts, and then it's almost like the movie starts to play again when it was paused for a while. So we have to be there for them and help them. And I know it's probably the hardest thing, Rich, even though I'm hoping it happens more and more and more, is to get you all to talk.
And that's what it's all about. I even went through, I had a hard time accepting that I was a, quote, disabled veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got this question too. I really want to touch on this. I got a question one time, well, do you think just veterans or active duty military suffer from PTSD? I'm like, no, absolutely not. No. Anyone can suffer from that. No one can hide from anxiety and things like that. But first responders like your husband and military, it happens to them more than it happens to plumbers,
right,
or accountants.
Right.
And since I am 100% disabled, that our focus is on main focus is for our veterans.
Right.
Now, this Thursday we're having a nursing home come out from Columbia, so we also branch out to civilians.
Sure.
The Monroe Council is coming out next month. I forgot the date off the top of my head. Next month they're coming out. So they've been out before as well. And that's what and if you have a group of people like that under 20, please get a hold of us at dudesplayground.org. And we want to bring you over you for 4 hours. We're going to feed you, drinks, fishing, play with the dude. It's a great time. So.
Absolutely. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Rich Melching, and Trish Odom, and dude is out now. He's sleeping on the ground. So since you've been open, and the disabled veterans and others who are suffering with mental health, what's the greatest thing that they say to you after they've experienced Dude's Playground, when they leave, and maybe in calls or text or emails after?
We had a man I met right before COVID from the spinal cord injury department at Jefferson Barracks. His name was Bob Wygon. And Bob became such a friend, Vietnam veteran in a wheelchair, became such a friend. I actually started inviting him to my mom's, I think it was 85th birthday party. And he actually hung out with our family. And he always said it the best. It gave him a reason to get up in the morning and look forward. Hey, I get to go to Dude's Playground next week. And even Trish's people have said that when they see that on the monthly calendar, they get excited that they're coming out. It just gives them a reason, takes the depression away, the beauty. There's always birds chirping. There's just everything around, and
so peaceful.
But and again, when you're in a horrible state, mental health, you miss all those beautiful blessings we have. You don't hear the birds chirping. You don't see the sun shining, because all you see is darkness. He just mentioned Bob, and I know there was a really wonderful piece done. Well, actually, a couple that I've seen over the years. I think Mike Bush did a really nice story on you, but Fox 2, my old station, did one. Let's actually hear from him.
A ramp leads straight to a pond, allowing Bob Wygant and other disabled vets a chance to leave their mental wounds behind.
There's a lot of things that go into my mind still. When I'm here, it goes away. And it goes away for a long time. And that's why I got coming back as often as I can. Let me kiss.
Again, now you lost Bob, did you not? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, we lost Bob about 5 weeks ago. What a great man he was. I mean, what a great man he was. He'd come out and he'd be like, "We've got a bench down there now," and he was like, "Hey, sent a picture. He said, could you use this bench?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool. How much they want for it?" And I was like, $500. I'm like, "I don't think $500 on a bench." Well, Bob bought the bench. But he'd come down there and he'd fish with a sinker and no hook. And he cast it out. And the first time he did it, I'm like, "Bob, you're not going to catch anything without a hook on there." And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to catch anything." And he goes, "But I'm fishing."
I love
So, yeah, we're going to dearly miss Bob. He was a good example of what something like Dude's Playground can do for someone to give him hope to wake up the next day.
So do you have a plaque on that bench? That would be a good thing.
Well, we're in the middle, actually. I want to put a shout out to IBEW Local 309 Electricians Union in Illinois. They gave us a very generous donation. We're finishing off a 15-foot by 40-foot area. And when I met Trish gets it. We're going to get to that, right?
Yep.
Because when it comes to mental health, not everybody gets it. And it's not, we're not putting anybody down. I didn't get it until it happened to me.
Right.
So, and then Trish gets it. So, Trish is you know what? I'll just let her say it. Trish is going to be teaching some classes, and
I already teach a suicide prevention, a mental health first aid class, a CPR first aid class, and then we also teach how to care for your Alzheimer's and dementia family members, clients, caregivers, or whatever. And then we're also going to be implementing some new things this year. So we have some pamphlets for mental health. These are all informational pamphlets that we'll be handing out if you would like to get one or whatever when you're out there. And it gives you information, valuable resources on how you can connect to who you connect to.
Then, which is what's so important. And the first one that's in her hand, it's talking about the fact facts that everyone should know, because the person that's going through it, they know what they're dealing with, but they can't express it many times, or it's taboo in their mind, or they feel like they'll be judged if they say something. If only those things, I just got chill. If only those things would be talked about, would those lives be saved? We think so. And that's why resources like this exist, is to try to get someone to open up and talk and say, as you know, because he has said this before. So I'm not saying this as if Rich hasn't said it, but Rich did try to take his life, and it was the oil resin on the gun.
The taste of the oil in my mouth is what actually woke me up. I climbed a flight of stairs and put a gun in my mouth, and like I said, I don't remember doing it, but the oil in the gun, I'm like, what the heck am I doing? And that was, and then I owned a business, a heating and cooling business at the time, and then I went into the shop and I couldn't read a service ticket. It was like Chinese writing to me. So I was in pain for so long trying to ignore it and taking narcotics and other things that my brain just literally shut down. And that was my first introduction to the psychiatric ward. And then
the other thing, Rich, that's hard is when you're going through any type of trauma, but let's use the physical side of the trauma. It is trusting that a medical professional is going to have your best interest and obviously provide some kind of therapy, whatever it may be. But if it's a prescription drug, it is, am I going to get addicted to this? So then there's a whole nother level of things that I've talked to a lot of veterans about that say, well, now I'm addicted to prescription drugs. And then they're fighting that.
No, absolutely. And you gotta be aware of your own health. You can't just listen to doctors. I have such a love-hate relationship with the VA because, and so does she, because they have saved my life.
Yes.
But sometimes it's very struggling. They started feeding me medicine in 2007, that's when the gun incident happened. By 2009, my headaches had gotten so bad that I lost everything, and I'm borrowing money from my mom, and I'm living in a basement looking at a fluorescent. And when I got past that, I don't know how to state it properly, that when it first happens to you and you're not understanding what's going on, you're scared, you're everything. But once you understand it and accept it, that's probably the big thing, accepting it, because I didn't want to accept it. And then I'm very fortunate. My disability does not affect me 24/7 every day. I get a little bit of a break from it. Yeah. Most people don't.
Right.
They don't get a break from it. So I decided to take that mental health freak flag and fly it proudly. I love to talk anyway, and I did. I needed something to do for me, because I'm a narcissist. So when you're a narcissist, you invite strangers to your property and feed and fish with them. So it's healing for me doing what I do as well.
Well, but I was just going to say, we're going to take a break here. It's not just healing for you, it's healing for those that watch you. So you talked about acceptance, and it's also, we love the whole hashtag, let them watch. In this particular aspect, it is let them watch a man who is a manly man aesthetic look, right? And he's saying, I'm okay to say that I'm not okay, right? I look back at so many men that have sat in these chairs or our blue chairs at our old set that have sat on set with us, talked about them not being okay, cried in the chairs. And I'm telling you that goes far. So the fact that it's not being held back, because you look back generations and it was, don't show emotion,
Exactly.
Don't say I love you, don't give hugs, all these things that I actually think is a detriment to the men before us. And maybe even some that are still trying to find their way to talk. So acceptance and talking, communication, so very, very key. Again, we're going to put it up on the screen throughout the rest of the show of how you can find Dude's Playground for yourself or for someone that you know that could use this. We're also going to talk about the big event coming up in June. So don't go anywhere. That's coming up on June 21st. Again, dudesplayground.org is the website that I want you to go to. And then from a social media standpoint, what are you most active on? Facebook?
I am a geek nerd. I need a Jenny or a Michelle. The Jenny and Michelle, I need one of you. Yeah, we're on Facebook and just the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought Facebook was probably the most active, because some people say Instagram, some people say this and that, but Facebook is where I want you to follow them. And then, of course, dudesplayground.org. All right, don't go anywhere. Again, more with Rich and Trish when we return.
Well, hello, my friends. My name is John O'Leary. I was just on the Real Monica Adams show, and it was an amazing experience for me and hopefully for the viewers and listeners as well. What I found sitting down with Monica is the idea of being real is maybe something we use for social media or website or to separate us from others, but it may not be something you experience very often in the real world. Today, Monica was extraordinarily real, not only with me, but with our viewers and our listeners. And through her authenticity and through her honesty and vulnerability, I followed. It was an incredible conversation. We were real about struggle, real about life, real about endurance, real about family, real about faith, and real about the truth that the foundation is firm, that God is still God, that there's reason for hope, and that the best is yet to come. So for those of us who occasionally struggle with being real or being filled with hope or being renewed in a season of struggle, I can't tell Monica and her viewers, listeners, and producers thank you enough for allowing me to be real during the hour together. So for this time, and until next time, my name is John O'Leary. Today is your day. What a gift it is. Live inspired and stay real.
And welcome back again. Thanks for tuning in on a Monday morning. It is the Real Monica Adams Show, and we're talking about topics that for some you shy away from. But I think today, if we can give you the awareness of the importance of talking and how it can be very healing to those that are suffering, sometimes in silence, with mental health and depression and anxiety, and then what kind of resources are out there for them. Again, also a big focus on our veterans, our disabled veterans, and a place called Dude's Playground. And we're going to give you all the information of, again, where you can find them, and then an event that's coming up, and also different classes that they still have going on. So again, the founder of Dude's Playground, Rich Melching, on the ground, the dude himself, and then Trish Odom, who is a board member. I want to just give you some of the comments. Jenny said, big hugs to you. And she said that you have a heart of gold. You're a wonderful person with the biggest heart. Stephanie said, I wish I would have met you in 2015. Thank you for all you do for the vets. Julie said, good morning, friends. Great to see you, Rich. Heartfelt segment. Excellent, Rich and Trish. Thank you, Monica. You're welcome. And again, feel free to drop in other comments for them, because what he's doing, what she's doing moves mountains. It's paramount. And I love the fact that it exists, but you think about when it didn't and everyone that didn't have something like this to go to. So you were mentioning some of the other aspects of what you offer that you want to run through for me.
So for the MRT classes that we're going to be having, it's for focuses on recovery and trauma. So those trauma classes are going to be exceptional. They focus on veterans. They focus on present day stress levels, but it all works with all the mental health classes that we need to provide to help everybody in our community, not just veterans.
And that's another thing. We're branching out. It's not going to be just for veterans either. I mean, this is going to be open to them. These classes are free. So we're excited to get that done, and we're excited to start those classes. Be open a few more months during the year. We usually close on Veterans Day. And now that we'll have this finished area, we'll be able to stay open later and then teach these classes in the winter time. And we're excited about that.
And those classes will be held when?
This fall.
This fall.
Yeah, where our schedule right now only goes through July. We haven't come out with the fall schedule yet. We are having a first responders though event. I talked to a couple of the police officers and got the ball rolling on that. We haven't picked a date yet again, but that'll be after July 4th. So our schedule, like I said, it only goes to the poker run June 21st. Yeah. And then I think there's one other event after that. And then we'll have the new schedule out for the fall.
And all of the events you have are on your website always?
Correct. Always on the website. Okay. Sometimes something will pop up fast. Trish will call me, for example, on Tuesday and say, hey, can I bring everybody over on Thursday? I'm like, yeah, come on over.
Come on. It's a field day. Let's go.
Yeah.
Again, there you go, dudesplayground.org. And we also have that Haven House flyer. I know that I saw that Zach has available to us. So you were asking about that. If you didn't tune in early, Trish is also with Haven House and all the great things that she's doing with them as well. What do you have coming up that the community can help you with?
So I have a fundraiser coming up this Saturday, May the 17th, Picnic on the Yard. And we all have games, we have live music, we'll have food. Vets Rolling Smoke will be providing all the food. So it's just come out to see what we're doing with our community and how we're helping our homeless veterans.
Absolutely.
I've helped over 300 homeless veterans get off the street.
Fantastic. It's amazing.
She has homeless people who aren't veterans just walk up to her back door and she feeds them. I'm not kidding.
I do their laundry, I feed them, I let them take showers, whatever they need.
That's an angel working right here, walking on earth for sure. So for those that don't know, where's Haven House located?
It is in Marion, Illinois. Okay. It's about an hour and a half away from here. So, okay. Yeah.
And then Dude's Playground, by the way, is in Waterloo on Kaskaskia. We've got that flyer for you as well. You mentioned earlier, Rich, about, and we've been talking now for about a month, 2 months or so, about the big poker run coming up on June 21st. And we're really thrilled for the amount of people that have been coming out. And still, if somebody wants to make donations, if you've got something special for them, if that they would be able to get a logo on their shirt.
Yes, we are proud to announce this is breaking news. Our new shirts.
Look at the dude. He's like, I'm
with
proud.
The dude on the front. We always like that American flag on the side, and then of course,
look at that.
Look at that.
See what it says right there? We're going to get into that. We get it.
We get it, because when it comes to mental health, the Real Monica Adams Show gets it, don't they?
Right, absolutely.
Dude's Playground gets it. The Haven Hound gets it. So here's what we're going to do. If you used to give us a $350 donation, we'd give you a 501c receipt and say thank you very much. Now, if you get a $350 donation, give us our logo. We're going to give you 10 shirts. You pick the sizes. We'll get them printed the sizes you want. $350 donation, and your logo will be where the Monica Adams is. And we're excited about this because, like I said, not everybody gets it. Right. And we want to spread that word of mental health. Here's the thing. Everybody has someone in their family. Yes. Our friends who struggles with it, but no one wants to talk about it. So if you get it,
then you get it.
You get it. So $350 donation. Give it a hold of us on Facebook, or the website is always the best place if you're interested, and we will. We'll get those shirts out
again, so $350 going to do the work that they're doing. You give them the logo, and you'll have that proudly that says your business, or maybe it's the name of your family. You just want to give from a philanthropic standpoint, that you all get in, that we're bonding together to help what they do. So they need to get these to you by when?
Whenever. So these are timeless shirts.
Oh, okay, good.
We can run these next year, year after. We may change the style of the shirt. This is our first one, but no, that was the problem before. You make shirts for a season or a year.
Yeah.
You have 5 or 6 sponsors on one shirt. No one can read it unless they're a foot away from it.
Right.
So this is like basically, if you own a business and you get mental health for $350, we can give you shirts to support mental health and get that mental health awareness out there.
And so do you have an email that you want them to contact? Or is that on your website?
It's on the website. So everything.
Dudesplayground.org, folks. Again,
no
go
S.
to that.
Dude Playground.
Dudeplayground.org.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
No, dudesplayground.org.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Stop.
Email.
Yes, it is, dudes.
Email is dudeplayground@gmail. No S.
Okay.
But if you go on the website, it goes right to me.
Yeah, and we've got right there, dudesplayground.org. I'm like, wait a minute, it is dudesplayground.org. So again, when you go to the website, you'll be able to get to the email address, and again, to help them out. So let's run through what's going to happen on June 21st. You do right now have food donated from, is it Bandanas?
Bandanas.
And Trattoria Giuseppe.
Yes.
Thank you so much to Giuseppe and to Grace. That is a wonderful Italian restaurant that you have not been to yet.
No, I have not.
Oh, you're going to love it. It's a gem. They've been there for 19 years, and some of the greatest Italian food that you'll have. And the two of them are just amazing. So thank you to both Bandanas and Trattoria Giuseppe. And then
we have the Silo. In Waterloo. Their supplier, their food supplier, is giving us a case of hot dogs and brats. So if you own a business or a restaurant and you want to donate some food for June 21st, for 25, 50 people, whatever you come up with, because I'm expecting, you know what I'm expecting? Epic. It's going to be epic. Epic. It's going to be the biggest thing Monroe County's ever seen.
Did he just wake you up? So for those who have never been involved in a poker run, and I keep pointing to myself, tell everybody how it's going to work.
Okay, so doors open at noon. You're going live at noon.
Yeah, we're going to be doing our broadcast from 12 to just before 1, because 1's when we all take off.
1's when we take off.
Okay.
So that would be the sign up at Dude's Playground. You got to come there to get your index card, your sign up sheet. And then we'll be leaving Dude's Playground. We'll be going to Bailout.
He's like,
yes,
right.
Bailout in Baldwin, and then from Bailout we'll be going to Evansville, Illinois, to Water Street, which I don't know if you've ever been there.
No.
So this is on the Kaskaskia River, and they took a barge and they turned it into a bar.
Oh, very
It's
cool.
very cool. And then from there we'll be going down to Purdue Road here at the American Legion. And then the 5th stop will be back to Dude's Playground.
And now you're doing a little bit different. So a lot of times you say that if people have done a poker run before, that they're actually getting their cards as they're going along. You're going to have a card where they get stamped, right?
We'll give you a 3x5 index card, and at each stop you'll get a stamp from one of our person to prove that you were there.
Okay.
When you get back to Dude's Playground, we'll draw all 5 cards right there.
Okay.
So we'll announce the winner of that at 6 o'clock. Back to Dude's Playground around 5:30. We'll announce the winner of the poker run at 6 o'clock. There'll be a 50-50 going on all day. We'll announce the winner of that. And then at 6 o'clock, the band, we got the Dos Amigos playing. I'm telling you, these guys are awesome.
It's 2 brothers, right?
Pardon?
2 brothers?
They're two brothers, and what I love about them, they can play anything to feed the crowd that they know the crowd and know what to play. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And we're very, very excited to have them. And then, again, that'll be the free food then. And it's kind of relaxed, watch the sunset, listen to music. And then at 9:15, we're going to give everybody some sparklers and have a little sparkler event from 9:15 to 9:30 or so.
And so Rich and I were talking on the phone, and he was like, some people are going to be involved in the actual poker run. Other people are going to want to come for the community party, right? Getting together. So from about 5:30 is when we are expected back. So from that point till 9:15, when we do the sparklers, that could be a whole nother group, families coming out
Absolutely.
and wanting to be a part of it.
Very, very, very family oriented. The evening part of it, the poker run, maybe not so much, but the evening part. So yeah, we'll have the diehards that'll be there from noon until 10 o'clock at night. But a lot of people don't do poker runs, not into it or whatever. Please come at 5:30.
Yeah.
And listen to music, check out Dude's Playground, see what it's all about.
Right. And spread the word.
And spread the word.
So for the poker run, it's $10 a hand.
It's $10 a hand. You can buy as many hands as you want. We'll be having 50-50.
Right.
And that's really all we're doing. We kind of got away from the silent auction and all that stuff.
But again, donations in whatever respect that you can do, and it all goes to help the wonderful work that Rich and how many other people besides Trish are on the board?
We've got Don Schaefer's on the board and Angela Denicola. She's an inactive board member. She's dealing with some cancer issues. So prayers to Angela. And she's a member, but she's inactive at the moment until she gets better.
So as far as community, besides coming out, and by the way, we did mention several times, but let's bring it up again, that it's all vehicles that are welcome, not just motorcycles.
Right. So the lead car will be me. And then you and Jim.
In your pretty red car?
But wouldn't you really rather have a Buick?
You're so funny when you said that to my mom. She was like, no. Okay, Mama. And there it is, by the way. It's beautiful. What year is that?
1965 Buick Special.
That is gorgeous. How long have you had that?
2.5 years. But please don't get too close to it because that doesn't look as good as that picture is saying.
I love it, by the way. He was in a Christmas parade and it was snowing and it was all lit up. You're nuts, you know that.
And not only that, she was with me. We sat in that car. We were the last one. We sat in that car while the snow and our legs were wet from the snow.
Yeah, he had the top down. He sent me a picture. I'm like, you're crazy. You know that? But fun. That's what I absolutely love. So yes, so I'm hoping that people can start spreading the word of, hey, well, first of all, they say we get it, right? And then you think about the people who drive Jeeps because they say it's a Jeep thing, like they get it. Okay, well, let's get it together. Yeah. Jeeps and Mustangs and you name it, Corvettes, all these different clubs that are out there. Teslas, I don't care, right? You got Tesla clubs. Just bring them out, classic cars. It would be fun for all of us to be together and make it epic and then bring awareness and information to the world about what he's doing, what they're doing, and again, getting people talking. That's the biggest thing. All right, don't go anywhere. We've got more to come. We'll look at some comments. If you got any questions, we'll go to the comment section right now for you. Again, don't go anywhere. We'll have more with Rich and Trish when we return.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
Carroll House is now the contemporary furniture design center.
We now have the largest selection of the latest ultra-modern furniture.
Sleek European designs, unique metals, bold lacquers, plush fabrics, and retro styles.
Modern furnishings with exclusive collections only at Carroll House.
Plus free financing, free delivery and setup, and free in-home design.
Visit the St. Louis Center for Contemporary Design inside our 3.5-acre showrooms at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
And welcome back again. Thanks for tuning in. If you're just tuning in and you've missed the majority of the show, be sure to go back. We always ask you to share and like and follow our live stream. If you only can catch bits and pieces of it in the morning and then head off to work, come back to it and again, grab it and share it. That way we can spread the word of what they're doing at Dude's Playground and get more and more of you. I just saw Bimmers R Us watching on Instagram. Shout out to you. So yes, BMWs, Mercedes, I don't care, little Volkswagens, those little Mini Coopers, everybody has their little clubs. Everybody bring them out because all vehicles are welcome on June 21st for the big poker run again, starting at noon with the live broadcast, everybody registering, and then we'll take off at 1 o'clock, come back about 5:30, and then it's for the whole community, again, to be there together and just to look at what you've done. So let me ask you that before we wrap up. What are you most proud of since you opened Dude's Playground?
What am I proud? I don't do the proud thing. I don't know. I'm helping people. I guess when you see it in their faces and eyes when they're there,
that's the thanks you get.
Yes.
That's the reward.
Yes.
After you see their faces,
Right.
how they light up, how they're so vibrant after, right before they leave. They're
Sure.
like they've had a great day
Yeah.
with us.
Well, I mean, pretty much, you don't have to say it from your mouth, but what do you hear from them?
Well, okay, so you caught me off guard with that question. When I first came up with this idea, my thoughts immediately was a spinal cord injury department at Jefferson Barracks. So that's where anybody newly paralyzed or something gets their chair, fits their chair, recovers to learn to use their chair. If they're already in a chair and they have to have a surgery, or my buddy Rusty, for example, Rusty Azell, love your brother.
Hi, Rusty.
When he got his track chair,
right?
Yeah. When he went out to Vegas and did all that, well, he rubbed his butt raw and needed a skin graft from in and out of the chair so much. So that's where he goes to recover after a surgery or something like that. So their patients are in there from 1 month to 6 months.
Okay.
So we had 3 of veterans out. They called us a couple of months ago. One guy was from Kentucky. He had been in there 3 months. One guy had just became disabled. He couldn't talk yet. He was
Carmi.
yeah, and he was just adjusting. He was 2 months in a bad accident or whatever it was, and all of a sudden he's in the wheelchair that actually they're kind of laying down when they're moving, and so he was adjusting. So anyway, we fished for the first hour and a half they got there. We come up and we eat lunch, and the VA guy was like, "Oh, you guys ready to go back down and fishing?" And they're like, "No, can we just sit here and talk?" And it's funny how quiet they are when they first show up. And it's usually about lunchtime.
Sure.
And then something will be said, and me or Trish or Don will jump in and put maybe a little experience of our life to go with them. And then to watch those doors open and the floodgates come out. And, the one guy was saying, we don't want to go to the park. We get stared at the park. It's longer to get somewhere at the park. They get out of the vehicle, they go
right there.
They're right there.
Yeah.
And they don't get judged and they don't get looked at and they don't, and they just feel so comfortable. So, yeah, they chose not to fish and just sit there and talk.
Well, and I think that's the biggest thing, right? So to bring it all home, we mentioned earlier acceptance, communication. You're looking at these beautiful pictures of all of those that have been there. And we want to see more of you utilize what Rich's dream was all about. And look at that big fish, by the way. What is the biggest fish that was caught?
26.5-pound channel cat.
Wow.
Yes. Jim Qualls caught that. I think he was 80 or 81 when he caught it. I think he was 80 years old when he caught it. He's been fishing his whole life, even in the Kaskaskia River, and it's the biggest fish he's caught on a fishing pole. That fall, he went deer hunting, shot the biggest buck. So I'm telling you.
You gave him good luck.
Yeah. He's 80 years old. He got the biggest fish of his life and the biggest buck of his life. You never give up. Don't quit.
Now, I saw a video of you and you were waist deep in the water, and and I had to laugh because it ended up being a fish this big. And you're like, are you kidding me? Was it caught around something?
So he had two hook. He had a double hook set up on that. Okay. So what the video doesn't show is he was cast away. He had a big fish on there.
Okay.
And he's fighting it coming in, and I'm way over, and I'm telling him, I watched that brush pile. There's a brush pile there. By the time I get over there, it's in the brush pile. So I'm like, well, I'm getting that fish because by the time I got out there to the brush pile, that little yellow belly about this big was on there, and the big fish was gone.
It was
But
hilarious.
everybody there saw that he
That
had
there
a
was.
very big fish on there for about 2 minutes before it got caught in the.
So in this video, he's about up to his shoulders, and they're like, hang on, you're going to drop. What were you? You were holding like a net or something. Yeah. And you're like, oh, that's right. I got that. And then it was like this big, folks. Absolutely hilarious. Again, so much that Dude's Playground provides. The communication aspect, you're not alone. And, I think you nailed it when you said, sometimes we just got to get it started and say, we've been there, right? We get it.
We get it.
And then it becomes, oh, you do get it. Okay, you know my walk. You know the life I've led. And now I'm not alone here. There it is. You're not alone. Mental health, you're not alone. It's the aspect of speak, or hopefully someone around you will allow you to speak. And maybe if it's just one-on-one, and then suddenly it becomes, okay, I can open up a little bit more. Yeah, let's go ahead and put that on. There's a Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 988.
Yeah.
And it's very important because when you know that there's a resource like that available to you to start the discussion, and to know that someone is on that other line wanting to help you, to say, you matter. And it's going to be okay. And this is the first step. And trying to save lives is what we're doing here today. I'm so proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Truly. And I'm proud that our team is teaming up with Rich and with all that are affiliated with Dude's Playground for, again, the big on June 21st. We want to make it epic. So we've got to get the word out to as many as possible for the big poker run. You'll be hearing about it a lot over the next several weeks as well. Anybody else that can come out, whether you're going to be a part of it, whether you want to make a donation, you want to, again, pay $350 and get your logo on the back of these shirts. Let me see that shirt one more time. It will be where the Real Monica Adams logo is. That is what yours will say. And people will get a chance to see that you support Dude's Playground. So go to dudesplayground.org, and then the email is on there for you to find out where you can send the money, how you get involved with this, etc. All right, I'm going to let you pick, my friend. We always do a devotional.
I know, but I was telling Trish about this earlier.
You want to pick it?
And I said, I predicted this out in the waiting room. I said, Trish, I want you to pick the devotional because I'm telling you this happens a lot. It's going to fit exactly what we were talking about.
Do you want me to tell her what they're called, or just ask her to pick a color?
No,
tell her what they are. Okay, so this is 100 Days to Freedom from Fear and Anxiety. This one is from depression. This one's from anger, overeating, and then shame.
Let's do depression.
I knew it. Did you pick in your head?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So I looked at it going, it's kind of like when you go to have somebody pick a card and you're like, pick that one.
Yeah.
I figured that was the one that would be chosen. Okay, our final break. And when we return, we're going to read from Stephen Arterburn's very powerful books, 100 Days to Freedom, this time from depression.
My house is so outdated and old. Can you help?
Let's take down this wall and add a support beam there.
Or just replace the furniture.
I love it.
New sofa, chaise lounge, and tables from Carol House.
What about this bedroom?
Let's tear down this wall.
Or a new bed, dresser, and accessories.
It's like a whole new room.
Get free in-home design, fast free delivery, and free financing too. Skip the remodel. Add new furnishings from Carol House for your new perfect room. Because you like nice things.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Thanks again for tuning in this morning to the Real Monica Adams Show. We always love to leave you with some hope and some inspiration, especially with some of the topics that we've been talking about today, that you're going to be okay. I know that you might be in some of the darkest places right now and struggling, but there will be some... What? What's that? Did you just burn yourself? Oh my gosh. I was like, did something just eat you?
Let's get real, right? I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. He put his arm on our candle. I thought something bit you. I was like, is there a bee?
I did too.
Did dude just bite you? All right. So see, look, you can be in the darkest place, but then suddenly you'll have laughter, right? And so you'll always get you. We'll always be there for you. And something like Dude's Playground is there for you so that you don't suffer in silence. So as we expected, the depression book is the one that was chosen by Trish. And this is yesterday instead of today, day 31 of 100 days to freedom from depression. So remember, not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and the rivers in the desert. This is from Isaiah 43, verses 18 through 19. So sometimes we live in the past. The past can be full of joyful memories, the birth of a child or a grandchild, a graduation. A lot of you dealing with that, right? I shouldn't say dealing with, going through that. A wedding, making a sports team. But memories can also bring up sad and very difficult times. Thinking about the past is not bad if we use what we learned in those experiences to help us grow. However, when we dwell on the past, we can wallow in negative emotions that leave us unable to enjoy the present. When we ruminate, we overthink a life event, refusing to let go. We fret about what we could have done differently or fixate on the wrong and injustice. But continuing to rehearse a negative scenario in our minds without any resolution could be contributing to our symptoms of depression. God knows the suffering and the distress that we experience in the world. That's from John 16, verse 33. But he wants us to live with our hurts. He reminds us to bring everything to him and warns us to not take revenge. In fact, he tells us to love our enemies in Luke 6, verses 27 through 28. That's part of where many of us ask God, but how? And why should I? God gives us these commands because he knows what hanging on to the past hurt can do to our minds, to our spirit, to our body. Instead, acknowledge what happened, feel the pain, correct any negative self-talk, and offer the past to God. And when we move out of the past and into the present, we then begin to experience a whole new joy. Helen Keller said, often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one that has been opened for us. Tony Evans said, insisting on living in your past will kill your future. Let it go. And Charles Kettering said, you can't have a better tomorrow if you're thinking about yesterday. So here's your prayer for today. Father, there is so much from my past that I struggle to let go of. When those memories come up, help me to stop replaying them and instead give them to you. And please heal me from my past and lead me on the path to joy. Amen. Very fitting.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Very fitting to what we're talking about today. One more time, thank you to Rich Melching, thank you to Trish Odom, and thank you to all of you. Please, again, take the show and share, and maybe even share privately. Maybe you don't put it out there, you don't tag someone. Instead, you take the show and email it to them or text them and say, I think you might want to listen to this. Ooh, see, I just got chill. So I think you might want to listen to this because God is speaking through us, and I thank him for that each and every day. Thank you, my friend.
It was a pleasure being here. I love what you do.
Thank you.
I love
you,
that
dude.
you get it.
I get it.
I do.
And here's the thing I'm going to try to help him with because he just said this. Go ahead and
thank you for having me.
So he just said that he's had this did you do it again?
Almost.
Okay, we're going to move it. The Know Your Value journal that he got in my 200th celebration, which was at Christopher's in Kirkwood.
Yes. Yeah.
In December of 23. And how filled is that book?
I got to tell you, I keep this out in my garage a lot with me. I keep it in the house a lot, and I keep it in my truck a lot. And I still haven't wrote a word in it.
And here's what I think is really powerful. And this is how we're going to end the show. And what was your answer? Why?
I think if anybody else saw what I wrote down, what I was thinking, they probably wouldn't let me out of the psych ward if they went back in.
But this is what I'm going to teach. So many people, when I teach journaling classes, they say, I don't even know how to get started, Monica, and I'm afraid. And I said, what are you afraid of? I'm afraid of someone reading my thoughts. If they find my book, I'm still alive, or if I'm no longer here, that they would read it. And I say all the time, But it's no different than any book that we are drawn to, and you're reading and you can see where the struggle is, and then you turn the pages and you see where the light happened. And so no one that loves you would ever judge your words.
I know that, but it's hard for me to read it. It's hard for me to write something down. I've taken some videos of myself going through a really hard time. And then when I rewatch it, I thought I would share that. But then rewatching it or rereading what I write down, it puts me in a place where I don't like to be. I don't want to remember it. I don't want to remember that part of my past. And
so how about
having the book with me, knowing the book is always there,
just
because
those
you did teach me know my value.
Yes.
You taught me that.
Yes.
And I do know my value. And
what
I'm here
about
to help
on
people.
your good days? Writing those positive things so that those are reminders. How about
that? Could be.
Yes.
I could do that.
Deal.
I will start.
Or even if it's a word. I remember I always tell you it starts with a word.
I'll show it to you on June 21st. We'll see how far we go.
But you have to be truthful.
Yes, I know.
Real. Right? That's what it's about. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Again, God bless you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, we're going to feature a wonderful young girl who, again, maybe the world didn't believe in, but she believed in herself. She's got Down syndrome. Her name is Lily. We're going to talk Lily's snow cones. And boy, is that going to light you up. That's tomorrow because she believed in herself. And then others, her mom and her family and the community believed in her, right? And that's all we ever ask. And what did all that provide? Lily's snow cones. And that is because of kindness that was shown to her. And that's all we ever ask you to do is to be kind. God bless you all. Have a great day.